Alt, a small city in the Somme department of northern France, was the object of our reflection this semester. On the 16th of March we traveled there from Paris. With just a basic knowledge but motivated to discover a new destination, we arrived in a town located at the edge of the ocean. As a simple group of tourists with a fresh perspective, we were ready to see the area. Our walk began near Saint-Pierre's church and continued along the main road of the city. La Grande Rue led us to the Belvedere located next to the old casino building, where we stopped to admire the panoramic view of the cliffs. Below it we noticed a large concrete esplanade connecting to the street level with the beach. Later our group turned towards the Rue Saint-Valery to head towards Anival. While walking back along the beach, the complex of retaining walls covered the coast again attracted our attention. Bricked entrances, blocked passages, and an abandoned swimming pool gave the impression of a forsaken place. For a group of architecture students, this intriguing building became a curiosity and made us want to learn more about it. Back home in Paris, we started our investigation. It turned out the city had a significant past. Since the beginning of the 1860s, the Alts Casino was an important attraction for both tourists and locals. The first structure was a simple wooden shack that functioned as a shelter for the bathers in case of extreme weather conditions. Around 20 years later, in 1879, the second one was built. The municipality invested in a casino with bathing establishments due to the development of hygiene happening at that time. The construction also included a large concert hall, a doctor's office, a cafe, as well as a reading room with a large terrace. In these times, the casino was considered a necessity, because it housed very important equipment of the city. Over the years, the needs increased. 1891 brought extensions, so the casino grew into a Cursal. It was later damaged several times by storms and threatened collapse. The Belle Epoque and the year 1912 marked the construction of another project, which was again demolished in 1929. The municipality invested in a new casino between 1932 and 1933, but unfortunately, the Art Deco-style construction did not survive the Second World War. The casino seen today was built between 1952 and 1955. It was part of a concrete retaining wall construction along the fragment of the coast. The original program included meeting spaces to play and socialize. The lower level allowed access to the sea and was filled with beach cabins. Later, the basement served as a youth center. Nowadays, the building is no longer a casino. The upper level functions as a community space and the lower is unused. The complex lost its social character and attractiveness. To find out more about the area from a different source, we decided to travel there again. Our goal was to meet the inhabitants and provoke an interaction. By installing a cabinet of curiosity, we did not have to search for people, they came to us. The characteristic Belvedere was a perfect spot for our installation. While setting up, the first citizens came to ask the reason for our presence. During the whole afternoon, we had a chance to speak to many people who helped us to gain knowledge of Alt. Ludovic turned out to be a very helpful person. Nostalgic for his youth, he would like to bring back the atmosphere and activities of his childhood. He told us that the esplanade under the casino was once a lot more animated. Not much ambiance of those times remains. Now the place is dangerous and he regrets that his kids don't have such a spot in the city anymore. We were very interested by the stories of Gabrielle and Jacqueline. They mentioned the old times when parents used to let their children play with each other, and there was no concern about security. All of the generations were like a big family, spending time together, partying, dining, and dancing. Now Gabrielle walks along the coast every day, and she can't enjoy the beach as before, because the access to the sea is not maintained. The ladies also spoke about the absence of restaurants with local seafood, or a simple snack bar to grab food at any hour. The three ladies, Mauricette, Annie, and Brigitte, are upset that Alt is always in second place, saying the priority goes to Anival. Even the beach in Alt is inaccessible. On the esplanade, there are no benches or tables. Hikers sit at the ground and have their lunches. There is a lack of facilities, and it is uncomfortable. They think that cabins and lockers for the summertime could be located in now empty basements. The ladies are very attached to the city. They like the casino and always attend the events that take place there. Xavier was very concerned by the casino. The Alt Environmental Association, which he is a part of, was even thinking about changing its function so that it could serve a larger number of people. Different levels of the building could accommodate, for example, an association room, an office of tourism, and a restaurant. The unused space of the west side of the casino would be a great terrace. He added that so far there was no official reaction about their ideas. The casino and its setting play an important role for the development of the city, and the users encouraged us to work on them. This area hosted activities that brought people together for many years and was a real center of the social life. The inhabitants are aware of its current untapped potential and would like to take advantage of the precious landscape of their city. Unfortunately now they can only watch the seafront falling apart. The synthesis of ideas that we have collected could be a base for many potential scenarios. Interviews have guided us to topics related to the sea, and we have chosen the most suitable and adaptable programs for our situation. The identity and the needs of Alt could be met at its most representative place, the shore. All About the Fish is a scenario that puts fish in the spotlight. Many different possibilities could take place there: an area for fishing, the seafood market, and a place to prepare and taste the catch. The second scenario, Get Into the Water, related to health and sports activities, could provide swimming courses, longe cote for the courageous, and water equipment rental in order to enjoy the beach. In each case, our aim would be to bring generations together and mix tourists with inhabitants, just like in the past. An interpretation of the program in the casino is adapted to the present situation in Alt. The strategy is thought out in few steps. We began the implementation of the project starting on the Esplanade, which happens to be the lowest part of the complex, and continuing verticality from the basement to the upper parts of the building. This way of thinking was not only programmatic, but also symbolic. The interventions are spread out over time, which allows the Altians to get used to the new situation as well as take part in it. They have the possibility to adapt to the new program to their needs and propose the future activities in their city. Indeed, the goal is to make people first believe that redefining space is possible, and second, involve them in the whole process. The initial step of our project was an intervention in the Esplanade under the casino. To test the potential of our scenarios and find out if they have an impact on the people, we created a pop-up space in which a real situation could emerge. We returned to Alt for the weekend of the 8th to 10th of June. With our cars packed to the brim, we were ready to take the possession of the Esplanade with two main operations, an installation and a program of activities. The 12 swimming pools aligned on the Esplanade were referring to the beach and the seaside leisure. Their position, visible from the street, created a perspective leading to the wall obscuring the forgotten swimming pool. To relate to the past activities, we used full-sized pictures and postcards from Alt, showing the figures of few bathers, a fisherman, a swimmer, and the shape of a beach tent. The cut forms were punctuating the promenade and making the installation an intriguing, ephemeral landmark. The visitors could interact with us, as well as enjoy the activities suggested on the flyers we had distributed. By setting a few home objects, we prepared a space to grill, talk, eat, and play with children. During the weekend, inhabitants and tourists, old and young, locals and foreigners, shared their feelings and gave us useful feedback. They were all surprised by the fact that something was happening in the area. Each person understood the purpose of our visit differently. Some compared it to an art exhibition, others were thinking we were hired by the department to provide entertainment. Some understood that behind our actions was the idea of reconsideration of the area. No one was indifferent. Monsieur Fromager, the owner of the local bar, was thankful that we took care of his son, with whom we spent the weekends full of activities. Two friends, Gerard and Jean-Pierre, fishermen in their free time, liked the fact that the Esplanade looked unusual and that they had come closer to find out what the blue circles really were. A family visiting the city for the weekend was pleased that Alt's water was once again considered a highlight instead of an obstacle. With our operation, we inhabited the space and reminded passers-by that Alt is still a city with a young spirit, full of unused potential. Citizens convinced themselves that the casino is ready for change, and that they could participate in the redefinition of the future complex. While removing the swimming pools, we left outlines of them on the Esplanade, a short-lived mark of this once unique weekend. Now anyone can continue the story and fill the circles with their input. A new chapter begins.